Brad, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi, Brad.
I had a question. Why does it concern you or atheists in general what Christians think of them?
George Bush, not our current president, but the previous George Bush president, said when asked that he did not believe that atheists should be considered citizens.
Or patriots.
Or patriots.
He didn't consider them patriots.
Does
and
that
wasn't
answer
sure
your
they
question?
should be considered citizens.
Do we need to get more clear than that?
Not really, but
Okay.
it doesn't really concern me that you think that Christians are gullible.
Well, I'm saying the answer is, does it bother me that some Christian may have a negative opinion of me? No. What bothers me are the actions that are taken on behalf of those beliefs. When you've got the President of the United States, in this case a former president, speaking out against atheists, saying that they're not patriotic and shouldn't be considered citizens, that should... Can you imagine what would happen if, like, for example, Clinton had come out and said Christians aren't patriots and they shouldn't be considered citizens? There would have been an uproar that a president, a public figure of authority, said that. It's completely disrespectful. It encourages a mindset, and it encourages other people to continue to marginalize a certain segment of the population. So while, I don't care if every Christian in the world thinks that I'm deceived by Satan, off my rocker, or just an asshole who likes to do a TV show. That doesn't bother me personally. What bothers me are the actions that people take on behalf of those beliefs that infringe on the rights of others with no justification.
I'm bothered slightly more than Matt because my concern kicks in at the level of the organized dissemination of the view that atheists are bad, subhuman, not citizens, or whatever all else you folks want to say about us. The organized dissemination of that information is simply, one step before actual actions. And I think that's the point at which we ought to be speaking up and saying, why don't you people shut the fuck up and stop insulting us constantly? Okay.
For one thing, I wasn't aware that he said that, and he was, if that in fact is what he said, he was totally wrong.
I agree, and I hate to cut you off again. We'll let you talk. I just want to say one quick thing. Jeff and I both understand that not all Christians feel in any particular way, and not all Christians are guilty of attacking atheists, which
yes,
we
of course,
brought out earlier.
Christians that don't say things like that about us are exempted.
But anyway, things seem to be starting to turn around in your favor. But anyway,
so.
that being what it may, I would also just like to specify that you're never going to see any proof that God exists. The only time I ever saw any proof was after I got faith, and that's what faith is believing
without
in
proof.
Something without the proof.
We know that. We are fully
came.
aware that faith is believing without proof. And that's why we call it gullibility, because that's what gullibility is. It's believing without proof.
And the only thing I can really say is that I didn't get the proof that you got when I had faith, when I was a Christian for 20 some odd years. For those people who, God spoke to them or touched their life or whatever, he didn't do that for me, so it's not my fault. And, if you claim that you've had that experience or that faith allowed you to discover the truth or opened your mind's eye or whatever.
And by the way, personal experiences that individuals interpret as proof of God are not proof of God any more than an individual looking down the highway on a hot day and believing that they see water on the highway when it's a mirage, it's an optical illusion. The fact of that person believing they see water on the highway is not proof that what they are seeing is water, okay? The proof comes when there's independent verification of those personal experiences, right?
Okay, you can't tell me that the proof I got was not real proof.
Yes,
right,
I can. I'm telling
Actually, we both
I am
can.
telling you that is not
agree.
real proof. It doesn't count.
You don't know what it is.
Because
it doesn't matter what it is.
You are aware that human beings are capable of being deceived. They are capable of misinterpreting one thing as something else. They are capable of hallucinating. Because that's a fact, individual experiences cannot count as proof of a God. And if you think that they do, you are confusing yourself.
Well, then your belief had better be right.
Well,
Excuse me, what do you mean by that?
That believing that there is no God, because if there is, you're in trouble.
well, first of all,
I'm in trouble? What do you mean by that?
Well, because if my belief is correct
Yes.
and your belief is wrong,
Yes.
is not,
Yes?
then what are you going to do when you stand at the throne of God?
I'll
going
say,
to ask him a lot of questions.
what a surprise. There was no evidence that this was true.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
You say, well, I sent plenty of evidence, you just refused to see it.
Refused? I'm not refusing to see it. I'm using the brain that I've got. Is there something wrong with that?
Do you really think?
No, you're refusing.
Do you really think? And let me just do this as simply as possible because we've got just
In
a
any
couple minutes
case,
left.
suppose I was... okay.
Do
sorry,
you
Matt,
really
it's your
think
show.
that if there is a God, that he would punish people for using their brains and actually expecting real, independently justifying evidence and reward gullibility instead?
Yes.
Okay. Good luck.
Fine.
If you think
That
that's
is
that's
why
morally
religion,
right,
that is why religion is reprehensible, and in my
dangerous.
opinion, people should stop doing it. I don't think it should be illegal, but I really advise everybody to stop doing it.
I would have asked him if he thought it was okay to stone kids at the edge of the town for being unruly. But, once your morality is that skewed that you can think that that is a just system, it's really kind of pointless.